So let's now look at the implementation of the query pattern with code. Create the factory, the iQuery interface, the select query with Dapper, the entity framework query, and our querying, so to speak, application code. We'll also later see the MongoDB query. So start by creating a generic factory, which will have a name and the iQuery type implementation. So we just can acquire our toSelect query with the exact name and then cast it because it will have a generic type. So this is the meat of it, so to speak, the public static iQuery of t create method, which returns a casted version of a dictionary and string object. The next thing is the interface, a public interface of iQuery, which is also generic and has only one method, which is execute. So it encapsulates all of the application's database access code and all the logic in the query. Then we create our query by implementing the iQuery interface. As type parameter, we use the IEnumerable of customers. And for Dapper, we obviously need a database connection. This time around, we use the Postgres connection and use the constants we used in the ADO.NET section. With this, then we can simply create our SQL statement, which will be select star from customers as explained in the slides, and use the simple query method here on the customers. So we can simply return it directly from the query method, which we have to be used with the type argument of customers. And that's it for the Dapper query. Next thing is we want to add it to the factory, so we can really return it on dal.select as the key and implement a different or an alternative query method, which will in this case be entity framework. So the implementation of the iQuery interface needs to have the same type parameter, but now we use the Udemy context, which we declared when we created our entity framework example code. And then on the context, we simply use the customers toList method, and that's it. So of course, those queries are very easy, but here it's about the concept. So I think it's a pretty valuable query to use, the most simplistic one. Then our application code will be the querying class and has a run method, just to call it in our program here from the console correctly, like we always do. And in our run method, we use the factory create method with the IEnumerable of customers. So we get the correct query casted here and use the dal.select as our key. And then we simply use query.execute. So no matter what implementation we are returning from our factory, we simply will execute it and get the result. So this is the power of this pattern in the end. There you saw it in the application code, so to speak. Now when we run this, we get all of the 5 customers from the Postgres database. And the next thing we can do is copy the select query and change it with the entity framework query and just run it again. And we get the same result, even though it's a different query pattern. So you can exchange your database access pattern or even your database, as we now will see with the MongoDB query. Again, we will simply implement the interface typed with the IEnumerable customers. But in this case, we will need database access code for Mongo database. We have to create a connection to our collection and use then the cursor. And as the select star equivalent in Mongo database, we need a new baseline document, which will be empty. On the cursor, we get the next batch, or the current batch, so to speak, add a range to our created list and format our resultant BSIN document to our customers. So this is just some transformation code we need. And in this case, because we created the database with different customers, we need 2 ways to cast it, one with the lowercase name and one with the uppercase name, because as you remember, a BSIN document is nothing else than a dictionary, and the keys have to match case sensitive on the keys in the BSIN document. Then we transform all the properties to string and simply will run this again with the factory, like we did before with the other 2 query types. And we'll see that this is so powerful because we even can change the type of database in an instance. So let's run this. And then you see customer second, third, and again, second and third, because we have 2 different ways to insert it. So it's different customers because it's a totally different database. So thank you guys for watching the video on query object pattern, and see you in the next one.